Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everyone, to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, along with G. Bush, Jason Lloyd, and Darren Smith is with us from Kansas City. We've talked to Darren so many times. It's our first time meeting him in person.
11 o'clock.
He's staying with G. Bush.
Oh, yeah? Oh, sweet. I was going to say,
man, you just G14 classified.
We put everything out there. We put everything out there.
There are Browns road games where I fly in the morning of the game, and I'm out that night, and you're here on Thursday night for a game. That's pretty cool.
I did it for you all.
That's right. Well, he wanted to be here with us on Friday, and we'll go to Sweet Pork Wilson's tomorw. I mean,
thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
Everybody's invited. What are you talking about? I mean, Darren does work at the barbecue capital of the world. Is it Texas or Kansas City? I guess
it's Texas.
I guess you're biased. Mike's saying Are you born and raised Kansas City?
Born and raised in Kansas City.
So you're biased. Mike says Texas.
I'm not biased. It's just it's facts.
You think it's better than Texas?
Yeah, I've been to Texas, and I've had barbecue in Texas.
Mike, have you had Kansas City barbecue?
I have not. But
all right, you can't say Texas.
It's like,
come on, man.
I mean, shout out to Les BBQ. If you know, man. Texas in every way.
I'm sure there's some places in Texas that are better than some in Kansas City, and some in Kansas City are better than some in Texas.
So it is
hard to
compare.
Thing about barbecue, it's all about personality, man. If you listen to Ollie Gates, who is considered the Baron of barbecue, especially in Kansas City, it's all about personality. So as long as you put your heart and soul into it, you make the barbecue what it is.
Is it a vinegar based? Is it a?
No, that's like Carolina barbecue.
Or
tomato based.
It's a tomato based.
Yeah.
And do you guys do dry rub or do you do more of a baby back style?
No, in Kansas City, it's more slab than St. Louis. Depending on the restaurant you go to, Gates Barbecue they do the full slab. Where they don't chop the top of it off. Other places they do the St. Louis style, and a lot of places like to smoke their ribs. Gates is old school where they fire pit, all that stuff, let the smoke come up, and man, and their rub is like I said, I brought some rub along with the sauce that we'll get a chance to let y'all experience. Because I will say this, I'm not one who endorses drugs or anything like that. But their sauce is like crack cocaine.
Like cocaine?
I promise you. That's how good it is.
Can I point something out real quick?
Yeah.
Steve, can you take the 4 shot, please? Just look at this set.
It's crazy, isn't it?
This is...
Stop it.
Darren's in a full suit.
Yeah, we have a full suit. Someone said, G, can I give you a comment we got on Twitter already about your outfit?
Right.
You look like the well-fed Green Hornet. And then we got Bull, who bought this new shirt last week, which he wore last Friday. He's rocking it again. It's a great shirt.
Again.
Bring that back.
And Jason came in with the sunglasses. The differentiation between each panelist out there today truly is incredible.
Well, I said I was going to wear my sunglasses to start the show, and I'm too white and old to pull that off. I can't do the G.
But a friend will tell you, put his left collar down on your jacket, and we gotta make sure you're looking good on camera. No, other side.
Other way.
No,
I don't care.
Look, he goes immediately Barney Rubble. His eyes just closed. I don't care.
Well, we got a lot to get to. Obviously, we'll talk about the Chiefs with Darren here, and the Chiefs coming to town. He beat him to town. So a lot to get to today. I did want to do I don't mean to bring everybody down, but I wanted to mention, because I mention it every year, tomorrow is the 25th, I hate to say anniversary because it's a sad event, but 25 years ago tomorrow, my best friend passed away from colon cancer. This is obviously depressing and nothing to laugh about. I don't mean to be a bummer, but I think about him every day. Aaron Moscowitz is his name. I named my son after him. And when we were young, we dreamed of me being a sports broadcaster and him being a sports writer. That's what he wanted to do. And unfortunately, he never made his dream come true. He was just a great human being, and the most unexpected, you would have appreciated this, Mike. He was a guy that we would go to the basketball courts to play like pickup basketball. And you'd see my friend Aaron, and everybody was like, this guy, there's no way he can play. He was tall, like for a normal person, like he was 6'1", but he was very large, like fat, at the time, way bigger than me. Nobody had a better, every court we went to, he had the best shot of anybody in the court. I'm telling you, if he was in great shape, he could have been a Division I player. That's how. I mean, maybe not because he was only 6'1", 6 foot, but like he would have dominated Division III if he were in shape with his shot. He never missed, and he was a good. Like he played very physical, but anyway, he was a great guy, great player. Died way too young at 20. It was 99, so he was 28 years old. And anyway, I miss him all the time. I think about him all the time, and. I don't know if there's a heaven or hell. I don't really believe in a lot of that stuff, but I hope there is, just so he's up there watching down. So I hope I'm wrong about it. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I wanted to share that. Nobody needs to feel sorry for me or anything.
Before we jump into the show, is there ways to get anything that came out of this that people need to know, like get checked? Is that something you can?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess, yeah. Everybody, if people should go to the doctor. A lot of times guys are like hesitant to go to the doctor. You're manly or whatever the hell it is. But if something seems wrong, go get it checked out.
Prostate exams after 40.
Yeah, prostate exams. 28-year-old shouldn't die of cancer really, but unfortunately he did. And anyway.
That's true.
That's it. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. But anyway, let's cheer up and
shout out to him
yes,
and his family.
Thank you.
Let's jump into today's show, guys. We'll get into our first topic after a reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So, guys, this game on Sunday features the 12-1 Kansas City Chiefs against the 3-10 Cleveland Browns. The line, however, is only 4.5 in favor of the Chiefs, and we'll talk about their inability to cover the spread in a little bit.
Hasn't that dropped dramatically? Wasn't it like 6.5? Did it open at 6?
Started at 6. It's down to 4.5.
Yeah, because the Chiefs have been terrible against the spread.
It's one of my stats coming up in the show. Don't worry. Yeah. We got some deep dive in there.
So have the Browns, by the way. They've been bad against the spread, too.
When you look at the records, if you take the names off the teams, it's a 12-1 team that's the #1 seed in the AFC versus a 3-10 team that is eliminated from playoff contention. I've been calling this the NFL can make no sense. The Browns somehow win this game. Bull, you're saying you're not buying that, but I want to start with Darren. Darren, could this be the NFL makes absolutely no sense game of the season where the Browns somehow find a way to upset Kansas City?
Well, I'll be honest, the Browns could win this game, and for all the flack that people want to give me about my Deshaun Watson take, which is fine, I'm here for it. They have a better chance to win this game against the Chiefs with Jameis Winston than they would have had with Deshaun Watson. One of the reasons is defensively, Jameis Winston is going to, if he throws the ball down, he's going to press against this defense. They've had problems with crossing patterns. They've had problems, with quarterbacks with big arms. And one of the things that you all have seen, Jameis is not afraid to throw the football. Now, the flip side is he's not afraid to get the ball away. Talking to Justin Reed this week in the locker room, he's hoping, to keep Jameis in the game because they feel like the opportunity will be there to get an interception. And if you're Trent McDuffie, you want to get your first interception against someone like Jameis who'll give them the football. But the other thing is, he will push the defense to the limit. And what that does is, for the offense, it's going to put pressure on them to put points on the board, because if Jameis can get started early and can get them into the end zone, that's going to force the offense to put points on the board and it's been somewhat challenging the last few weeks with Kansas City and putting points on the board. So they can win this game. I don't expect them to, because the Chiefs have more at stake in trying to get the #1 seed and, of course, the bye. So, but we'll see how.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs have obviously all their games have been close. That's why most of their games have been close, and that's why their record against the spread is not good, because especially early in the season, there was a lot of games they were a big favorite and they didn't cover. I'm sure they don't care about that. Why would they? That doesn't matter. But if you're thinking about betting on the game, it matters. And so
I learned a couple years ago, always just take them on the money line. I don't care if they can be minus 1,000. I'm not betting 1 ounce.
You never laying a point.
Well, the best I'll do is I'll give the Chiefs plus points. Because if they lose, it won't be by much.
That's true.
But which they don't lose that often.
Yeah.
But if I'm a bet on Kansas City, I'm giving them points or I'm betting the money line.
Obviously, I expect the Chiefs to win the game as well, but it's not. First of all, it's the NFL, and the Browns, even though their record is 3-10, they're not that awful. They're not 3-10 bad. They're bad, but I don't think they're 3-10 bad, especially with Jameis. So it's not this is not an all-time upset if the Browns win. They're at home and they're only, as I said, only a 4-point dog. I think it did start a little higher. I would have guessed it would be a 6 or 7 point spread.
Too.
But
yeah.
Still, the Ravens are a 17-point favorite this week against the Giants. And
I think one of the other reasons why is there's still a question mark at the left tackle position. And if you're Myles Garrett and you see Wanya Morris, you watch what I say because they might be watching. But if you're Wanya Morris and you're there, you're going up against Myles Garrett. They're going to be licking their chops the entire game, and they're going to overload on that side of the field just like the Raiders and the other team
Panthers,
did.
right?
Yeah, and barbecue chicken. So.
I look at it like this: if you Kansas City, this is a scary game because it's the Browns. They're 3-10, and as you pointed out, they got Jameis Winston at home. It's a little bit of an uphill battle to ask the Browns to go on the road and really upset people.
Not home. It's a home game.
As I'm pointing to,
I see what you're saying.
On the road, they struggle against the Steelers.
Right.
He threw for a bunch of yards, but couldn't get the ball in the end zone against the Saints. But if you take a look what they're able to do at home it's a little bit of a different story. You got wins against the Ravens. You got wins against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those are two very good teams that are going to make the playoffs. And if you are the San Francisco or you are the if you're the Chiefs, you don't want to get the San Francisco 49ers treatment like the Browns did last year. They had P.J. Walker start that game, and for some reason, you couldn't move the ball. You couldn't do what you wanted to. It was a sloppy game. Browns end up winning. If you got a Jameis Winston that can give you 3 touchdowns, but he can also give you 3 interceptions. He's a little more stable at home. I think that he'll come back after this game and bounce back from what he did against the Steelers. And I think that he'll be a much better, thrower of the football downfield, and he won't give up that many turnovers. I still think he throws interception. And I do not have the Browns winning this football game, but I do have the Browns in a close game all the way up to the fourth quarter, saying neck and neck with the Chiefs.
Can the Browns win? Yeah, Browns can win the game if they win the turnover battle, which they don't ever do. I think that would be crucial in this game. I didn't realize Kansas City was also negative on turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew – these are two teams that love to turn the ball over. So whoever wins that, I think it's going to go a long way in determining who wins the game. And, we say this about the NBA all the time, that teams just don't play that hard. Teams get bored. They play hard for 5 or 6 minutes, just enough to hit the gas and go and win the game. You see Kansas City more than I do. It sort of feels like they just get bored.
I just said that. I said that too in the car on the way over here.
Well, here's the thing, and this is key. I'll get to that point in just a second. But as it relates to the Browns winning, one of the things that Kansas City will give up, they'll give up, as you all have talked about, the 20 to the 20. The problem is going to be teams can't score with from the 20 to the red zone. The Chiefs' red zone defense has been outstanding. Like, they'll give up a big play, but if the receiver doesn't score, the Chiefs' defense will hold them to a field goal. But back to your point, I tell people, as a 2-time defending Super Bowl champion, teams get up for you every week. So it is a mental drain. And sometimes I have to take myself back. People like, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I grew up in Kansas City, but I grew up a Cowboys and Niners fan because I'm in church while Kansas City is playing. So I didn't watch a lot of Chiefs football growing up. But when you are the Chiefs and you get everybody's best week in and week out from Baltimore to Cincinnati to even the Carolina Panthers, you have to play at a high level every single week, and that takes a lot mentally as well as physically. Where other teams, you look at last night's game, 12-6 between the Rams and the 49ers. Now, granted, it had playoff implications, but to the extent to where, people's game rise, when you're coming in town. It's a totally different thing. And the fact that Chiefs have been on this literally since Patrick had started playing, where they want to take them out, they want to be the team that beats them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a hard road for Kansas City to have to play each and every week at a high level. So
that's true.
The fact that they're 12-1 and winning it in the manner in which they have says a lot about the coaching staff and the players themselves as well.
And the Chiefs, you look at Mahomes' numbers at this point, just statistically, he's not really off from what he did last year, which obviously the last 2 years, traditional statistics, his numbers are down from what they were 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. Part of that is just the NFL that quarterback numbers have overall dropped the last couple of years. But, a lot was made of his interceptions earlier. I know the last 3 games he hasn't thrown a pick. He's thrown 11 picks, or is it 10?
I didn't look at the stats.
He has 11 picks.
Excuse me.
20 touchdowns, 11 picks.
Right, 11 picks. Last year he threw 14, so he's basically on the same pace as last year. We'll see how it ends up. Some people have said he's having a terrible year. He's not the best. He hasn't been the best quarterback in the NFL this year, clearly. Right. But he's not having a terrible year, right? I mean, I'm not watching him every week.
No, it's not terrible. I mean, you got to remember, he lost essentially his number 1 wide receiver the first play in preseason. He took out back. And he literally took out his second wide receiver against the Chargers. I think that might have been week 2 or week 3 of the season. And then of course you lose an Isaiah Pacheco earlier in the season as well before getting him back. And now Hollywood Brown is expected to come back within the next couple of weeks. So, he played most of this season without 3 of his top players.
Right.
You bring in Kareem Hunt, you bring in Juju Smith-Schuster, you end up bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, and the fact that again. Yeah, the interceptions have been a problem early on, but I still go back 12-1 and to be able to just, plug in players and still get to where you're at. It says a lot about the players and from ownership on down and the buy-in that these players are, where they're at 12-1, and coaching has a lot to do with it.
From your vantage point, we talked about this before. From your vantage point, before the preseason, you had the Browns and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
I did.
I think Shannon Sharp had some of the same type
no, he had the
prediction.
Same,
he had the same prediction, right?
Yeah.
So, Chiefs end up 12-1. From the outside looking in from a national perspective, from where your vantage point is, Chiefs held up their end of the bargain. What do you think derailed the Browns? And did you expect them to be 3-10?
I didn't expect them to be 3-10. I also didn't expect them to not play not play their players in the preseason. I always thought that was, from my vantage point, that was a no-no. When you didn't play them at all in the preseason, then your first game out is against the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons, that defense. I didn't think that was a good recipe. I thought that was a recipe for disaster. Now, you all being in Cleveland, you all see them much more. I do watch the show every day, so I got a chance to hear you all's thoughts or whatever throughout during the preseason and the training camp and stuff. I always thought that them not playing was going to hinder their start. The thing about Kansas City, Andy's old school, takes them up to St. Joe in the college environment, get all that noise out the way, and he runs a tough practice. Now I've seen it year in and year out, but they run a tight ship up there. But he gets them ready. And the thing is, they lost Hollywood Brown, first play of the preseason. Plug the next person in, keep everything moving. Injuries are going to happen. And so they just take it and they take it with a grain of salt, plug the next person in, and they keep it moving. So, again, not going to, hamper on Cleveland's coaching staff, whatever. They made the decision that they made. Just from my vantage point, I always thought that they did not run as tight or as tough of a training camp. And, of course, for me, not playing in preseason kind of because the Chiefs, they play their starters every game in the preseason years on. So,
under the radar storyline in this game, this very likely could be Travis Kelce's last game in Cleveland. Right. How many more years are you going to play?
Right.
They're not going to play next year.
Oh, and happy birthday to Taylor Swift. I better get that out.
Is today her birthday?
Today's her birthday.
How old is she?
Swifties will be
34.
upset at me if I don't say happy
34.
birthday.
And Travis
35.
is what? So she's 35.
She's 35. Travis is 34.
Will they get married?
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that.
All right, let's move on, Darren. I'll save you with an ad read. Omaha Steaks is the perfect gift to deliver comfort and joy to the ones you love with curated gift packages. Omaha Steaks consistently delivers unrivaled quality and taste, hand-selected by master butchers from your finest grain-finished beef, extra aged, flash frozen at peak flavor, and delivered right to you. And right now you can deliver the perfect gift with 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, UCSS listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code NFL at checkout. A minimum purchase does apply. Not only have I used Omaha Steaks to get my dad a gift for Christmas, he's actually gotten me Omaha Steaks. I promise you, the quality is incredible. Give the gift of comfort and joy with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide on unforgettable gifts and more, and an extra $30 off if you use promo code NFL at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com, just like you see on your screen, and an extra $30 off with promo code NFL at checkout. Guys, surprise topic. Did not tell you this was coming.
Yeah.
I want your instant reaction.
Okay.
This morning, Steve Take Tag Board full. The Dolphins and Odell Beckham Jr. parted ways. Bull,
Yeah.
Jason, G, Darren, would you be open to the idea of an OBJ reunion in Cleveland? Yes or no?
That's a silly question. I refuse to answer. Because you know there's no chance
He
that's
ain't
gonna happen.
coming here.
First of all, I forgot he was still in the league.
That's a wrap.
Has he actually played this year?
He has 9 catches for 55 yards. Operation
He does?
Stockpile. G. Yeah, Steve, take his stats. We made a graphic for this. This is how
Oh
serious
my
we are
God!
about
I
this.
didn't realize he even
Yeah, 9
played.
catch for 55 yards or something like that.
G, would you take him back in Operation Stockpile?
Man, so you want me to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and Deshaun Watson eating pasta? We can't do that at the same time. Come on, man. He's not coming back here. Stop it.
Well, I don't understand why the Dolphins and or the Ravens have paid him in the last few years.
I can't stop laughing. I love how this.
And what was crazy is
Yeah.
he had offers to come to Kansas City the last 2 years, and obviously took the money with Baltimore, which
Yeah.
I don't blame him for that. But this year, for whatever reason, the Chiefs were still trying to sign him.
Yeah.
And hopefully now that he's cut, I hope Ravich has changed his number at least. So.
Well, I was going to say, now he may wind up in Kansas City. He ain't coming here.
I don't know. I mean, why would you want it? He hasn't been good in forever.
I agree.
Let's face it. Outside of a couple of weeks with the Rams, he hasn't been good since his third year with the Giants. Or he's been mediocre.
He was
at
okay.
best.
He had a 1,000-yard season here, didn't he?
Yep.
1,000-yard season.
Yeah, I know. But still, it's not bad.
No, I said he was okay. You didn't trade a first-round pick
I
for him
agree.
to get
He's
1,000
one of the
yards.
few players that have lived off of one catch.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, because
Now, his first 3 seasons in the league, he was historically good, but
he lived off that one catch in that boat and that
that's
boat
it.
photo.
He became a huge superstar off that.
Had he made that catch for the Detroit Lions, would he have ever been the star that he is?
No.
I agree.
No, wasn't that it was Dallas Cowboys.
No.
No, he was saying if he wasn't on the
if he
Giants.
wasn't
If
playing
he
in
had
New
been
York.
not a New York player. Although the Giants, both New York teams have been so bad now for so long.
Now
That's still New York.
let's not. I mean, he made some plays besides one catch. I think that's his most.
No,
he
I'm
made some
saying,
plays.
I said his first 3 years
he
he
had a couple
historically
very
great.
good, but that catch elevated his
Yeah,
name.
Yes.
And I'll give him credit. If he doesn't get hurt in the Super Bowl, he's trending to being the MVP for that Rams game.
He could have been.
Yeah.
He could have been.
A lot
ready to
smarter
move on
than
to a real
they
topic?
Got hurt, but,
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on OBJ?
I guess
just want to
so.
throw that at you guys.
Dak,
first.
by the way, Michael Parsons said Joe Burrow should be the MVP.
I don't listen to nothing Micah Parsons says. Man.
He's not
I
wrong.
like him, but
Joe Burrow's
he's-
been the best quarterback in football this year.
Well, hold
It's
on.
not even close.
That's a perfect segue,
But-
Bull, into what we're going to talk
Well, I
about.
was going to say, should Tampa bring Odell in?
That'd be fun.
Hold on. This is
Yeah.
this is a text from Odell's dad. He said
Yeah.
he's still open.
He's still open.
All right.
He's still open.
All right, so the real topic.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to throw it in for 2 minutes
Yeah.
just to have some fun. Mahomes, as you guys mentioned a second ago, has not been the best quarterback in football this year. If you're starting a franchise, I think most people would still take him number 1, but I'm not as confident it's 100% certainty. So multi-part topic here, but what do the Browns have to do to stop this Chiefs offense? And 2, if you were starting a franchise, is Mahomes still the guy you take first overall? And is it as easy a decision as it would have been this time last year? Jason, you want to start?
It is for me.
I would still take him.
I'd take
number
him
one.
hands down.
Yeah.
We talked about it the
Now,
other
at some
day.
point, he's going to get old enough where you're
Sure.
like, maybe I'll take this guy.
Sure.
I was thinking, are there guys that are, because the only guys anywhere close to him are about the same age as him.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm trying to think of the really young quarterbacks in the league, like Jaden Daniels. Like, am I going to take Jaden Daniels over Patrick
absolutely
Mahomes?
not.
Of course not. So
last year
I'd still take him number one.
Last year we all fell into the trap of, is Kansas City still good? Can they do it again?
I did not fall in that trap.
It was a conversation that was had
And by the
multiple
way,
times.
multiple.
By
I
the
think
way,
I still pick Kansas
yet
City to win it,
another
actually.
thing I got right,
Yeah.
Mike, by the way, was before the year, I was still saying the Bills were one of the elite teams in the East. I mean, in the AFC, because Josh Allen is great, and everybody else on this panel was poo-pooing that.
Wait a minute.
All right, maybe not you.
Roll the tape.
G. Bush and Jay
G. Bush
were
and Jay.
killing the Bills. Said they weren't any
I've
good
always liked
because of
Buffalo.
no receivers.
I mean,
a lot of people picked the Jets to win the East.
Do you know what take? Gee, real quick, as you say that, do you know what
Yeah.
take may have aged the worst out of any take we've ever had in the show?
Yeah.
After the Jaguars game, when Jay said he'd take Deshaun over Tua and Jalen Hurts.
I remember. I was not on that day.
Yeah, that was.
right.
That was one of my greatest mind-bending tactics ever. That was a great argument by me. He was like,
No,
you know
not you.
what?
That was Jay said it.
No, I amped him up. I hyped him
Oh,
up.
you got him going.
Yeah, he
on
was
that?
his hype man for that take.
I amped him up.
He was
Darren,
Shame on
playing.
you.
Obviously, you would still take Mahomes number one overall, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, knowing what we know now, of course. Because people look, I don't.
No. I mean, if we were drafted
If we
today.
draft today, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mahomes, yes.
And G, would you still take him number
You're
one?
not about to fool me. Look, that Patrick Mahomes, we thought he was out of here. And don't everybody, y'all all of a sudden, Jason, people want to act like, hey, man, we wasn't doubting Mahomes. Yes, we were. We thought he was out of here. Cass was sneakily saying that he was washed. And then these playoff games happened, and he went on the road.
I don't know
and
if anyone
shut-
said Mahomes was washed,
Yeah, I don't
but
know
there was a
about
lot
that
of questions
It was
about if
a lot
Kansas
of
City could do it again
questioning.
last year.
It wasn't. The questions
But
weren't about
it wasn't
Mahomes.
about Mahomes. The wide receiver was dropping
They
the
was,
ball.
Yeah.
They
It's
was
that.
throwing
Yeah.
rocks at the throne. Hey, if you with Mahomes, that means you are Mahomes, bro. Like, like when Mahomes got the football, they ain't like, oh, the receiver. They're like, no, you got to stop Patrick Mahomes. They went on the road and got the Bills up out of here and got the Ravens up out of here.
Yeah.
Last
That-
year was the year to get him.
You could
It
have,
was, yeah.
and they came through, and and here's the thing: he neutralizes other people's powers. He don't play defense, but he actually kind of does, because if you look at it head to head. The only person that I've seen that really worked with him head to head in the playoffs and looked like they can rise to the occasion has been Burrow, and he did it once. But anybody else?
Well, no, he did it twice. Mahomes beat him the second time.
Josh Allen's gone head to head with him.
And Josh Allen and Mahomes had that one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah, but they lost.
Not because of him.
But I'm just saying, when you score in 13 seconds, everybody loses.
I hear you.
Like that's what I'm saying is.
But you can't blame Josh Allen for that.
What
loss.
I'm saying is, it's like when LeBron was just doing the Raptors or the Hawks dirty.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter
You
what
can't-
they was doing.
You can't really bet against Mahomes
no.
until he's beaten.
One of the things that was shocking when we were in Baltimore for the AFC Championship game is that for somehow, some way, the aura of Mahomes takes over on the opposing team because Baltimore legitimately after the first drive went away from their running game. After the first drive in the first quarter, they went away from the running game because I think Gus Edwards was their starting running back.
Yeah.
Had it for 25 yards. He never touched the ball after the opening drive.
That was crazy.
And it seems like the quarterback, either the quarterback or the OC, they always want to go tit for tat and throwing against Mahomes. It's like, stick to your game plan. Like, because I talked to Spags on the field after the championship, and he told me he was surprised that they went away from their running
That
game.
was nuts.
And teams get out of their game plan when they play against the Chiefs
Yeah.
because they always want their quarterback, or they want either they're smarter than Andy Reid. Just stick to your game plan, and it might work for you.
It's like going head to head with Tiger on Sunday.
Yeah.
It takes you. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
And LeBron in his prime or Michael in his prime, it screws with guys.
I feel like you have to do more than you need. You just do, yeah.
And like you said, last year was the time to get them but also the Chiefs do rise, man. I don't know if it's a switch or what, but sometimes when the playoffs start, it just
It's different. It's different when you're standing in front of them. Like you can look at these other games and you can say, "Oh, well, the Chiefs did this against it," but it's different when you stand in front of a person. You're like, "Oh, I could see why this is like that." Lamar Jackson, they lean on the run game in Baltimore heavy. Soon as they start paying Patrick Mahomes, it's like, all right, well, let's drop back and shotgun and let Lamar Jackson. That's not what it is.
I mean, think about it. Week 1, they got away from Derrick Henry. I mean, and
Yeah.
and it came down to Lamar Jackson just passing the football, and it's like, that's not who you are.
No.
Darren, real quick, and you could give us the insight on this, but from a Browns perspective, to slow down Mahomes and this Chiefs offense on Sunday, what's the game plan that's worked best in limiting the Chiefs' offensive explosive plays and scoring opportunities?
Well, he's been sacked this year more than any year, right?
I think he's up to like 30-something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the left tackle position, man. Whoever, I mean, seriously, Patrick he's admitted to holding on to the football too long sometimes because, of the line play. Whoever's lined up at left tackle, you just got to overload on that side, man, and just get after him. Because Patrick will either hold on to the ball, try to make something happen, or depending on who's protecting him, he might get hit. And also, Jawan Taylor on the right side, has a problem from time to time jumping or lining up outside where he gets flagged for 5 or 10-yard penalties right off the bat, either offside or false start or something, and that puts the team in a second and third and long situation. So I mean, you have many opportunities to get the Chiefs off the field if you can put pressure on them.
And he's been sacked 35 times, Mike told me. So, yeah, he's 5th most in the league, which is unusual.
Sixth most.
6th most. But another thing, and, this is my opinion as an outsider, Travis Kelce isn't the same player anymore, right? Like, not that he's not good.
I'm not telling him that. No, I'm not.
That's just, he's having statistically his worst season. He only has 2 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, but
he's still good, but he's not the best in football
But
anymore.
again, but that's the flip side to the play of the offense. Again, Patrick being sacked 35 times, he can't get the ball out to Kelce. I mean, because he's been under duress. I mean, if you're, it's like any quarterback, James. You put enough pressure on him, it's the decision making for the Chiefs. Are you going to dump the ball off to Hunt or Pacheco, or are you going to try to get the ball outside? I mean, so he didn't have the time, as we've seen with the sacks, to get the ball to it because Kelce has been open. And look, and there have been some plays in the last few weeks where Kelce's been open. Patrick throws it to him and he's dropped the ball. So I mean,
that's very unusual.
So it's there's a number of factors, but for me to just think that he's kind of fell off. I can't go that far.
I'm curious, by the way, it's unrelated. Well, related, but this Noah Gray guy has had some big games in the last few weeks. Is he like a legitimate, if Kelce retires next year or two, is he a legitimate quality starting tight end?
Yes. Yes. I mean, and the Chiefs extended him this past offseason, so he's
the heir apparent there.
Yes.
It feels like for the Browns to win this game, they have to take chances defensively.
They've got to be extra aggressive, right?
Like,
if you
cover zero,
give Patrick, if Mahomes has time, he's going to beat you.
You got nothing to lose. I mean, you're eliminated, so go for it. Look, if it's 4th and 3, go for it. I mean,
absolutely.
Oh, he'll do that.
Yeah,
that's not
absolutely.
It's just about what they go
They
call.
don't have a kicker either.
I just mean defensively, you have to be aggressive.
They should be sending all kinds of blitzes and.
Well, can I ask something real quick, Jason? And you may be the best person to answer this. Schwartz has really never changed up his defensive philosophy in terms of a coordinator. Like, he wants to play the wide 9-man coverage press.
Yeah.
Considering they're eliminated now, any chance we see some experimentation from Schwartz over the last 4 games?
I doubt it.
Just mixing it up.
Why would he do that now?
Yeah, I think he is what he is. He calls what he calls. They are what they are. I do think they get after it with some of the blitzes, and I think they're going to have to really dial that up Sunday. If you're trying to win this game, take chances, play cover zero, leave guys one-on-one. If you get beat, you get beat. But try and force turnovers. Try and speed up Mahomes.
That's the only hope.
And create turnovers. They'll give it away.
We've
already proven that.
If you just sit back against Mahomes,
he's going to tear you up.
Got no chance.
He's going to tear you up.
Oh, yeah.
No chance. You can't win that way.
But then on the flip side, we can't come in here Monday and kill them either if they get beat. You know what I mean? If you're in man coverage and you get beat, well then, hey,
tip your hat.
They made a play, but you had to try
you gotta
something.
take chances.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Jimmy Haslam basically came out and said that he feels like everybody's okay. But we also said if they look bad, that could be all out the window.
Right. Sure.
If they do win this game, is this a game that if they win, basically it's a lottery ticket and everybody gets to come back?
If they win this game.
If they win this game.
That probably locks it up.
I think it
But
locks
you never know with Jimmy.
I don't think it does.
Really?
No.
You never know with Jimmy.
I think
They're probably going to come back anyway.
I think they're probably going to come
Right.
back. But I don't know that this game, I mean, they still got 3 more after it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just feels like this is a very emotional ownership group.
By the way, it is.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I want a sidebar conversation of what we had. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the first pick in the draft if you're starting the NFL over. Forget contracts, just age and how good the player is.
Yeah.
Who's the second pick?
I'm going Myles Garrett because I got to get somebody to get after Mahomes.
Second pick,
Over all the quarterbacks?
like, you
Well, I
mean a
got
new
Mahomes,
team?
but yeah, I'm-
No.
Like
it's like a
the,
fantasy
the
draft.
next
Mahomes
team
off
in the
board.
draft is picking.
Taking
Well,
Josh Allen.
if Mahomes is still that guy, you still got to go through Mahomes. You need somebody that's going to give him happy feet. Myles Garrett is the closest thing, and I got to have some respect for Defensive Player of the Year. So
Okay,
I
so
gotta
you're
push
taking
him.
Myles.
I'm with Mike. I'd take Josh Allen.
And I
That's
would
not a bad
hear,
pick,
I would
but
hear
I like
cases for
defense.
Lamar and Burrow, and I think it's totally reasonable that those 3 guys in any order, whatever your personal preference.
Josh Allen is an 18-wheel tank
I
trucker.
would probably I'd have to go with a quarterback. I don't know which one I would pick.
You got a fence ride here?
If
If I got to go quarterback, I'm going Lamar Jackson.
it's
Going Lamar.
it's Burrow. They're all in that little mix. It's just like I would probably at this point today, I would probably take Josh Allen. But here's the thing: I wouldn't mind if one of the other 2 fell to me. I'd be
Oh, wouldn't be
completely cool with
sad.
that.
Wouldn't be sad
I
with
wouldn't be
Lamar.
sad at all. I'd
They
be
would
like,
go 2, 3, and 4. Those
yeah,
two guys.
I think they would.
But-
I think Myles Garrett comes
Yeah.
off the board at 5.
I don't think he would come off the board.
I don't think he would
I
either.
think you'd
There'd
have
be like
10
12
quarterbacks.
12
easy.
quarterbacks before the defensive player. That's just a random number. I don't know.
Obviously, I'm a little biased, so I would take Burrow, but I certainly understand the other 2 guys. I think all 3 are neck and neck. I think Burrow is I think by a little bit is the best of the 3. But
Now, if we was doing it like the draft, like you do it in fantasy draft, my first 2 picks would be.
well, if it's fantasy, you're taking Lamar because he get all his rushing yards.
Just like, but I get another.
I'm taking
pick.
Lamar ahead of Patrick in fantasy.
But like, say for instance, my next pick, right? So
Yeah.
you taking all these 32 teams, right?
Right, yeah.
So what I would do is, if I was picking at the top of the draft,
Yeah.
and I knew I wanted a great defense, I just take Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett, and then I'll roll with I'll give me Kirk Cousins, give me somebody like
Kirk
that.
Cousins.
And
Throw
now,
8 picks, no touchdowns.
Now I got 2 bookends. You're
Yeah.
not running nothing.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get both guys.
You think Michael Parsons goes? If Myles Garrett ain't gonna go in the top 10, you said 12 quarterbacks gonna go, right? So
Something like that.
So Myles Garrett goes what, 20th, 24th?
I'm not sure Myles Garrett goes before Micah Parsons if you factor in age.
Oh well, okay, so here's the thing: if
we
I'm
wasn't
if I
doing that.
if,
I thought we wasn't doing. I thought we.
Age factors in.
if say for instance,
not money.
if say for instance I'm
Yeah.
at the top of the draft and Myles
Yeah.
Garrett falls to or Micah Parsons falls to I don't know, 20th,
Right.
and I get back up after 32, and
Yeah.
I'm picking again, that other one's gonna be there, because you got
I
to.
think they'd both go in the
Oh,
top
my God.
30.
Mike, you know how much I love land of make-believe hypotheticals. They're never going to
Hold
happen.
on, it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm finna be like Jason.
Oh.
This
What are we
hypothetical
doing?
Stuff, it bothers me because you're gonna offend somebody and people gonna think that you don't like.
Oh,
the
I don't
person.
care about offending
no,
people.
No,
I do it every day.
but I'm saying like yes, Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, but you can pick any quarterback to go underneath them. But I'm thinking from a GM, all those players that you're talking about, they're all on the same conference. Now you still got to get through Mahomes. If he's that guy, they're gonna have a tougher time. I'd rather have somebody. If I'm on the NFC side, and granted, I did say Garrett, but I'm thinking if I'm an NFC team trying to get through them, I got to have somebody that can get after them and probably try to put them out the game. I'm not worried about going tit for tat. I'm trying to get them out the game, so I don't have to worry about playing them.
Fair enough. We got that. We got Jason's whining about hypotheticals, and we will move on.
We'll go to No Fence Riders.
To more
next.
hypotheticals.
No Fence Riders today is brought to us
At least
by
these have a
FanDuel.
chance.
You can tackle all the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, guys, we have 6 No Fence Rider questions this week.
Yeah.
I made these on Tuesday before we got the injury update to David Njoku.
Yeah, these were easy.
Yeah, so the Njoku ones kind of got a little fuzzy. So we'll run through the 2 Njoku ones quick and spend more time on the rest.
By the way, how awful was that game last night?
I didn't watch it.
Hideous.
I had it on for about 3
3 guys
minutes.
in fantasy that were playing
Oh,
in that game.
that's not good, Mike. All right, go ahead.
First one, and this one's an Njoku-related question, so it's not going to be as interesting, but we did have a decent split when we thought he was healthy.
Skip it then?
We'll just give you the answer, then we'll move on and give analysis on the rest, because we have some other stuff I want to spend some more time on.
He can still play. I don't think he will. But
who has more receiving yards Sunday, Kelce or David Njoku? 6, excuse me, because we have Darren added in the mix.
Yeah.
Chose Kelce, Earl, Jay, Dustin went David Njoku.
Dustin actually sent his answers.
Dustin did send his answers
Wow.
Yeah.
Earl, Jay, and Dustin are lost in the soup, even if Njoku was healthy.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. Because Kelce hasn't been as good.
And Njoku's had a strange year.
this week. He gets so many targets with Winston.
He gets a bunch of targets, but he still has some drops. He hasn't been as clean on his routes. It's just one of those, it's like one of those things where Njoku is a great player. I wouldn't say great player. He's a good player, but it's just a consistency factor from week in, week out.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes Travis Kelce special, is that in his prime, through certainly 2 years ago, maybe even last year, he was great pretty much every week. You know, every once in a while he'd have a nothing game, but pretty much every week he would be great.
I will go to the next one. This one still applies. Kareem Hunt is coming back to Cleveland. We know he's obviously a Willoughby native. His last 2 games, a little lower, but in his prior games, he had 68 rushing yards, 60, 106, 59, 78, 102, and 69 this season. He only has 31 combined in the last 2 with Pacheco back in the action. So the question is, who has more rushing yards, Chubb or Hunt?
Yeah, that was easy.
G.
That one.
I'm going to just give you the floor here because you said Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
He's not even going to play.
I mean,
He's going to play, but it's Nick Chubb.
At this point, Nick Chubb ain't been on the field all that much.
But how many carries you think Hunt's going to get? 5?
got to find that fourth wheel.
No, what's going to happen? Obviously, with Pacheco coming back,
Yeah.
you know that's going to limit his carry. So I'd say between 5 and 7 carries. So that's why.
I think Nick Chubb.
Nick probably wouldn't have more than that.
Look,
Nick's only getting about 10 or 11 a game.
Nick's getting 10 or 11, and he's been out the game on 4th down and short yardage packages. So, I mean, and when he has been in there, it has not been like he's bursting these huge runs.
The difference is Kareem is the short yardage back. So the odds of him breaking one are minimal. Where with Chubb, obviously.
Has Hunt had any big runs this year?
Chubb?
Chubb's 19 last week was his longest of the season.
I don't know. I just assume that as the weeks go by, Hunt will get less and less touches because Pacheco's awesome.
Well, he's back, but also, I mean, you got to think about it. You know, you get closer to the playoffs, the weather's going to change.
Yeah.
The Chiefs should rely more on their running game between those two. But, you know, to their credit or to their ever-dying shame, you know, the Chiefs will do some questionable stuff. Last week against the Chargers Sunday night, the Chiefs, I think they're opening drive in the second half. It's 1st and 10, you know, midway, I think around the 40-yard line. They give the ball to Pacheco. He runs it for 6 yards. It's 2nd and 4. They get the ball back to Pacheco. He gets 3 yards. It's 3rd and 1. Yeah. Instead of running the football to get the first down and extend the drive, they have Patrick Mahomes drop back to pass and then complete pass, and now you punt the ball. Yeah. So sometimes you think there's some questionable stuff like, are you trying to lose the game? Or you're like, just get the first down, extend the drive. If you're going to have them drop back, do it on 1st down. Don't do it on 3rd and 1. Just extend the drive.
Will Andy Reid seek opportunities to get Kareem a touchdown in Cleveland, or does he not operate that way?
We'll have to wait till my headline.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Darren, then let me ask you different because I know your headline. Will Andy Reid find creative ways to get Travis Kelce a touchdown in his homecoming to Cleveland?
Yes, because they should have done it Black Friday while it was on Amazon Prime and Tony Gonzalez. And I know they tried, but Mahomes threw it 15 feet in the air in the end zone. They didn't do it last week. If Taylor Swift is in town this weekend, then
Yeah.
I expect him to get a touchdown.
Is she going to be here? Do we know that for sure?
Well, it's her
She was
birthday
in Kansas
today.
City yesterday
Right.
visiting, and I think her tour has ended. So
And I didn't know, but Bernie Kosar told us yesterday that I guess her lead guitarist is from here?
Her lead guitarist is from some Cleveland area suburb and
Yeah.
is doing something in Cleveland this weekend.
Yeah, so that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be here. But
It's a good chance.
Yeah.
Good chance you're in the building.
all right, Mike, next.
Next one.
On a high deal with that crap every week. It'd drive me crazy.
I ignore it.
It'd drive
I
me
do.
crazy.
Because
Hater.
you know why?
Don't be
Because I
haters.
don't deal with their personal life. Mahomes, all this stuff, I don't deal
Yeah.
with their I don't, because I know their people, I leave that alone.
I just mean the logistics of that.
Oh, man.
She's way more likable than Mahomes' wife.
I'm already in the press box when she arrives, and post game, I'm normally on the field, or
Yeah.
I may be by
So
the
there's
elevator.
no
when she,
interference?
so
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, all right, go ahead.
2 weeks ago against
Yeah.
Denver, Jameis threw 4 touchdowns, had 3 turnovers. Against Pittsburgh last week, it was 2-2. This week, will you have more touchdowns than turnovers? If you think it's even, you say no. So this had to be more. And we had 5 people go with the more. Tyvis, G, Dustin, Jay, and myself all said yes, he will have more touchdowns than turnovers. Jason, Darren, Earl, and Bull all went with the no, being either equal or more turnovers.
I think this is a game. Reason why I picked Nick Chubb is not going to have more yards than Kareem Hunt is because I think this is a game. This is another Jameis Winston throw it 55 times, and he ain't got nothing to lose. Now with that 55 times, are they going to have some almost picks? Sure, but almost don't count. I got him throwing for 3 touchdowns and 1 interception.
If he throws 55 times, they're going to lose this game.
Oh, that could definitely
They're gonna
happen.
lose this game.
Oh, that could happen.
I picked no because I think it'll be an even, probably 2-2. something like that.
And I was
That's
thinking
what I
that
thought
too.
also.
Or he throws 3 and throws 2, and I'm like, maybe God answered his prayer from a couple weeks ago. 'Cause
Yeah.
Well, he did
that's
pray.
the only reason why I
He
can see that
prayed to
happening.
be saved from pick sixes. He had no pick sixes last week, so maybe those prayers did work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Still threw
tackled
2
at the
picks.
31 and still wound up changing the momentum
All
of
right.
the game and wound up
Next.
in a Pittsburgh touchdown.
Next up, let's go to the kicker situation. Dustin Hopkins was 0 for 2 against Pittsburgh. He's on a cold streak right now, in a slump. Will he miss a kick this week against the Chiefs of any kind, extra point or field goal? Tyvis, G, Earl, Dustin, Bull, and myself said, yeah, he's going to miss something. Jason, Darren, and Jay all said, nope.
Oh, okay.
This was
Because
easy.
he's not going to play?
Because he ain't going to play. I don't think he's going to kick. That's why I picked no.
Okay.
I
Can't
just
miss
think-
if you're not out there.
Yeah, and I just picked. No, I figure if they score a touchdown, man, if you miss extra points, they're gonna figure out a way to get out that contract at the end of the season. So
It's really not that bad. It's really not.
yeah,
Like, we can kill him for it.
And I just think it's a
But
middle.
they got way bigger problems than the kicker contract.
Well, no, that too, but also but talking to Harrison Bucker and some of the kickers, it's some of that. I just think it's just happened to be one of those games where he
Yeah.
just had a bad day.
If he keep missing these kicks, nah, man. He not getting off the hook. We got
Yeah, look, I'm fine with it.
We got to
There's no
eviscerate
problem.
everybody
Good.
else. The kicker's
Yeah.
not off the hook.
He's been a bum this
He's been
year.
taking these L's.
All right, for this next one,
Yeah.
David Njoku was part of the question. So I'm going to give you the answers to the initial question, then I'm going to change the question, and we'll get your on-air answers
All
to
right.
the change. So against Pittsburgh, Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku combined for 19 of Jameis Winston's 41 passes in terms of targets. So the question was, will Jeudy and Njoku combine for more than 50% of his targets against the Chiefs? Here's how we all answered. A pretty even split. Tyvis, Earl, Darren, and Dustin said yes, those two would. Jason, G, Bull, Jay, and myself said no, they won't. The question is, you can pick whoever else you want to replace Njoku in this equation. Will any 2 Browns targets have more than
Players.
50% of... Yeah, any 2 Browns players have more than a 50% target share
No.
from Jameis.
Well, if the Joker's not playing, I'm my answer flips. So
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah. No, because he'll spread it out a little more.
Yeah.
It looks like you'll have
Tillman?
Tillman back. My brain's not functioning. It looks like you'll have Tillman back, so he'll get some of the Njoku targets, Elijah Moore. Jerry Jeudy didn't have a ton of targets last week.
8.
That's low for what he's been at.
Comparatively
with Jameis.
speaking, yes, that is well.
So I could see him having like 10 or 12.
I'm
But
spamming Jerry Jeudy. Spam it.
what do you mean?
Load up.
Yeah, just.
Oh, he only had 6 targets.
You know, you
Don't
get.
see?
Six.
Remember you
And
get.
Joku
really
had 13.
Remember you get spam like mail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing it over
Yeah,
and over
give
and
him
over.
like 20 targets.
Yeah, 30 targets.
Now, what I could see a scenario where whoever the number 2 wide receiver is could get a lot of work because the Chiefs have not had really, since they traded my guy to Tennessee. They've had problems since Connor has gone down with an injury with that second cornerback position. So they haven't got that set right, which is why they re-signed Steven Nelson this past week to the practice squad to bring him up next week. So that second wide receiver could steal a lot of action.
He's not playing this week.
Who's that? No, he's on the practice squad.
You see what Darren said right there? The second wide receiver, whoever that is, that means you just got a warm body at that position. That does not bode well for you.
Since Jameis has taken over, Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman they've been pretty good. I know Tillman's been hurt, but before he got hurt, or concussion, before that, he was playing fine with Jameis. Yeah. And Elijah Moore's overall been pretty solid with Jameis. I mean, they're the second and third wide receivers.
I mean, you got to squint.
They've been
hard.
better with Jameis than they have with Watson.
Listen, I've been as hard on Elijah Moore as anybody, but he's played much better with Jameis.
Yeah.
What's his numbers with Jameis, Mike?
Elijah Moore?
Yeah.
Let's pull him up real quick. Elijah Moore, since Jameis took over, so this starts in the Baltimore game, which was his second best game. He had 8 catches on 12 targets for 85 yards against Baltimore.
Very good game.
Against the Chargers, fell back 3 receptions on 9 targets for 28 yards.
Not good.
Against the Saints in the game that Jameis threw for 395, he had 6 catches, 8 targets for 66 and a touchdown,
That's a good
including
game.
that 30-yard touchdown in the corner. He played pretty well. Against Pittsburgh in the snow, 3 on 5 targets for 21 yards.
All right.
Against Denver, his best game, 8 catches on 14 targets for 111 yards. And then this week against Pittsburgh, 3 catches, 4 targets for 30 yards.
About 350 yards,
you know,
I think.
That's pretty good. He's had 3 really good games.
How many
and 3
games?
So-so games.
6 games as a starter.
So I think I was trying to do it in my head. You were giving too many numbers, though. I think it's about 350 passing yards. Or
and outside of the Bengals, nobody's put up good offensive numbers that I can remember against Pittsburgh in the passing game. So
it's 345 yards
in 6
total,
games.
57.5 yards per game, which for a third receiver's
that's pretty good.
solid. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Yeah.
It is Taylor Swift's birthday today.
Yeah.
It is unknown whether or not she will be at Cleveland Brown Stadium, and I'm saying Cleveland Brown Stadium because I'm not. That's for you, Bull.
Appreciate that.
That's for you.
Yeah.
We don't know if she'll be there or not.
Until they pay us for the naming rights.
I'm going to call you Terry. I feel like calling you Terry. I'm going to call you. I ain't calling you Bull.
To your point,
I'm going to call you Terry.
I still call it Arrowhead Stadium. So
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not.
What is it?
calling
It's
them.
not Arrowhead anymore?
It's like GEHA or GEHA or what?
That's literally how it's GEHA. That's how they do it. But and it's funny, they in the press room at the podium, they actually have to have it there because the players and the coach will still say Arrowhead. They have to put it there GEHA.
First Energy scammed the whole state. They were paying off politicians.
It ain't First Energy.
Well, it was until
Hey,
recently.
now.
All right, so we don't know if Taylor will be
always
at the
gonna
bank
be
or not.
Arrowhead
We have no
Stadium.
idea. But you could have answered this question with either the thought she will or she won't be, and I'm curious if it changed your answers. But which number will be higher on Sunday, the total amount of touchdowns scored by both teams or the mentions of Taylor Swift on the podcast? This was a very close answer.
I don't understand why does it bother you? Why do people get so bothered? And this is coming from someone who gets bothered by more things than anybody
So why
else.
aren't you bothered by this?
It's like, who cares if she gets mentioned? What do
I don't care if she gets mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it. It's all about
don't
me.
have to.
Well, as long as the logistics of the whole thing don't interfere with my day on Sunday, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm only worried about me.
It's a weird thing to be triggered by. I never quite understood it. But I mean, look, I think of course she's gonna get mentioned. Taylor Swift, what you talking about?
So here's the result. It was a 5-4 split. Earl, Darren, Dustin, myself, and G said more Taylor Swift mentions than touchdowns. Tyvis, Jason, Bull, and Jay said more touchdowns than Swift mentions.
Who's doing the broadcast this week?
Charles Davis.
Yeah, I think it's the Charles Davis.
Oh, an Iron
thing.
Eagle?
I believe so.
I wish I would have known that earlier. Damn it.
Yeah. Why?
Nah, I could have called Iron Eagle this week. Maybe had him on my podcast.
Look at you.
Or on the show.
Congratulations on your Rolodex.
I love Iron Eagle. He's my favorite play-by-play guy. Charles Davis is great. The tricky thing with Charles Davis, have you interviewed Charles Davis before?
It is Iron Eagle and Charles Davis, by the way.
No, but we did link up a couple weeks ago in Carolina.
If you interview Charles Davis, and he doesn't do it on the TV broadcast, he's great with Iron Eagle. He'll answer a question for 5 minutes. You do a 15-minute interview with Charles Davis, you might only ask 2 questions.
That's the best.
He's one of the nicest people too.
He's great. And he's great. He's great on the games. He and Iron Eagle have great chemistry as a team. And so, all right, it's a good.
Honestly, I didn't know Charles Davis was at CBS now. When you said Charles
Been like
Davis, I
3,
thought
4
it was
years.
a Fox game. No. I'm always at the games. I never listen to the broadcast.
You know Charles Davis is sneaky rich, bro. He's been in the
He ain't sneaky.
He's a UCSS, former UCSS guest.
he got the longest running Madden appearance of all time. He's been doing Madden since like 2009 or something stupid.
It's funny, the question about Taylor Swift being mentioned and stuff like that. You talk to the players, and the players have said they never see or hear because they're on the field, so they don't see anything. They don't show it on they don't show on screen at all. So it's never been a distraction for them. And for us in the press box, again, unless you're down there where you're filming her, and I don't know why you would do it, but you're filming her as she's getting showed in by security to walk into the stadium and stuff like that. Again, the only time I see Taylor is if I'm in the tunnel area where the press room is, and I'm there late, but and her and Travis come out the elevator to leave to go out. That's really the only time that I'll have any type of interaction with her. But it's like, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, she can come enjoy the game, and if they show her on screen, so what?
Yeah, I'm way more bothered or triggered by Mahomes' dopey brother and his wife.
He's an idiot.
That I am by her. But
I'm not touching that, so don't even ask.
I wasn't gonna ask you.
I do feel like she tries to blend in, and they won't let her. And I do feel not that. Yeah, like you don't have to feel bad for Taylor Swift.
For this attention.
That's exactly it. I don't.
She don't need people like she's. I remember when people were saying last year she's looking for. She don't need the attention.
No,
she has, and this is just from the outside because again, I like Taylor Swift. I don't want people to think I'm not. That's not. She has been the ultimate Chiefs fan. They've welcomed her to the Chiefs. They love her to death. The coaches. She has been from what I've seen and from what they've told me, the nicest person that there is. She's one of the guys, more or less.
That's awesome.
And they love her. They respect her. They give her the privacy. And she interacts with with the players' wives and the girlfriends. I had a young lady who used to cheerlead for a local college that she asked me if I could get her a ticket to the game. She ended up getting one. She ended up being in the same suite with Taylor Swift and did a TikTok with her. Just the nicest person that she could be.
Cool.
I did when this whole thing started. You don't have to comment on this. I said, I don't think he realized what he was getting himself into, and now he either has to marry her or his life is ruined because if he ever breaks up with her, the Swifties will run him off the face of the earth. Yeah. So it's like, well, buddy, you're stuck now. Whether or not you knew what you were getting into, woo! You are pot committed now.
Only thing I'll say about that is, and it's my only comment about that is that because I don't talk to Kelce about it, but I did say, hey, if by chance there's a marriage, can your boy show up? He said, I got you, D.
He's getting the invite?
He told me I would get an invite. I've been covering him since he's been there, so he's like, you're a real one, D. I got you. That's all. That's the extent we've ever talked about.
Very quickly, I heard a funny story about Travis Kelce. Has anybody heard of the show Billy on the Street?
Yes.
No.
It's a hilarious show,
funny.
is it not?
Very funny.
Is it a YouTube thing or is it an
No,
actual
it was
show?
on like
It was
True
on Netflix
TV.
for a little bit.
Yeah. It's this guy, and he just does. He goes around. I don't even know if they're still making the episodes, but he's a comedian, and he's been in some movies, and he runs around New York City and asks people
It's random man on the street interviews with celebrities, and he asks some ridiculous stuff, and it's very funny.
It's funny, and he's gay, and that's part of his thing, and it's just he's very funny, super hilarious. If you have never seen the show, check it out. You can see the episodes. Anyway, he told the story. He said he was, I don't even remember where he was, but he goes, so he's like, I'm at this party. He was at a party somewhere. And he's like, all of a sudden I feel this very manly hand on my shoulder. And I turn around and it's Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce apparently said to him, he goes, Jimmy on the street, I love you, man, I love you. And he called him Jimmy. And then the host was like, "Did you correct him?" And he's like, "No, I didn't want to correct him. I was so excited that he loved me. He just kept calling me Jimmy. I would run into him throughout the night.
And what
he
was
kept
it?
calling
What's
me
his
Jimmy.
name?
It's Billy.
Billy.
But Travis Kelce called him Jimmy, and he just went with it for the
Close
night.
enough.
It was really funny.
It's kind of like how Don King was calling Dustin Fox.
Oh my God! Did you ever? You don't know about this?
He was calling him Dusty.
No.
No.
Duffy.
Adam and so Don King, we had Don King on an interview, which is just wacky.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the beginning of the interview, he goes, "Thank you for having me, Adam and Duffy."
Duffy.
And we just went with it. I almost fell off my chair, but we did
with it.
for the interview. He was Duffy.
Oh,
Just
that's
Duffy,
funny.
the whole interview, bro.
I'm sure
funny.
Keith still has that clip over
he
at the
does.
radio station.
That's
Go ahead,
awesome.
Mike.
So we're going to get to 5 stats you need to know for Sunday's game. After a quick reminder that if you're still looking for the perfect holiday gift, Omaha Steaks here has helped you deliver comfort and joy to the loved ones in your life with the perfectly curated gift packages. Omaha Steak consistently delivers unrivaled quality and taste, hand-selected by master butchers from their finest grain-finished beef, extra aged, flash frozen at peak flavor, and delivered right to you. Omaha Steaks makes it easy to shop with expertly crafted gift packages. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. It is grass-fed, grain-finished beef and has more marbling for exceptional flavor. It's the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs all around the world. The fan favorite filet mignon has earned the coveted distinction of USDA certified tender. Give the gift of extra comfort and joy with Omaha Steaks. You can visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide on unforgettable gifts and more, and an extra $30 off if you use promo code NFL at checkout. Minimum purchase may acquire. That is 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $30 off with promo code NFL at checkout. All right, guys, 5 stats you need to know for this weekend's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. 4 of these are really good. One of them you're not going to like, Bull. But first, did you know the Browns haven't had a 70-yard rusher in 20 games?
Man.
70.
Wow.
Not 100. We're talking 70. Their last 70-yard rusher was Jerome Ford at Baltimore last year. The game, Deshaun had the 14 for 14 second half, where he hurt his shoulder and then missed the rest of the season. That's the last time any Browns player has rushed for 70 yards in a game.
Man, why didn't we hear about the Jerome Ford game all summer like we did the Deshaun second half?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy. The Chiefs have the
Not
third
gonna get
best
that.
run defense in football this year. The Browns have the third worst run offense in all of football. So that individual matchup, Browns running game versus Chiefs run defense,
There are
certainly
actually 2
favors
running
KC.
games worse than the Browns.
There are. We did this last week, early in the week.
I can't remember. Refresh my memory again. Oh, yeah.
The
It was
Raiders,
the Raiders.
and I forget who the other one was. I'll tell you right now.
You got them both. I remember you
I
got
did
them
get
both.
them both.
Yeah, you guessed
Patriot?
these.
Was it Patriots?
No.
I have it right here. Bull, you want to guess? Try to guess again.
The Raiders.
We're so old.
And
Dementia.
I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
It's an AFC East team.
Dolphins.
Nope.
Oh, the Jets.
The Jets.
That's right. Which is surprising. I was surprised. But yeah.
I mean, can I say something right quick?
Please.
Because I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because I know we're talking about this game. People want to give me flack, which, again, I'm all for it because
Yeah.
I put stuff out there, it is what it is. And if I had everything right, I wouldn't be on the show right now. I'd be somewhere basking
right.
in
Nobody
the
gets
sun.
it all right.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but when people say, had the Chiefs and the Browns, look, man, when Patrick Mahomes first went to the AFC Championship game, they had the second to worst defense in the NFL in 2018. The team that had it worse, Cleveland. Last year, when the Chiefs ran off and won the Super Bowl last year, they had the second best defense. Number 1 defense, Cleveland. Now, I thought, and look, I believed in Deshaun. I have no problem saying that. I like Deshaun.
I think we all believed him in it.
Yeah,
in him at first.
and look, and I thought, look, enough time being out, getting healthy, at full training camp, they would be better. And I had no idea that the defense was going to fall off in the manner in which it did. Now, how much of that's to blame on the offense and production? It is what it is. I don't know, but to say that I was wrong for thinking that Cleveland could do it. I mean, they went what they go 12-5 or something last year, or
11,
they did.
11-6.
I wasn't crazy. I mean, you weren't alone in thinking the Browns would be good this year.
Look, the
Nobody
Chiefs.
gets all their
the Chiefs
predictions
are going. Well, I am right about the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Now,
sure.
who they face is a different story. But
All right, so who are you picking right now? Who are they going to face?
in the Super Bowl, well, I've got the Chiefs.
You don't think anybody in the AFC can beat them?
No.
Well, who do you think they're going to face in the AFC Championship game?
I think it might be Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh defensively can get Buffalo if they face them in the playoffs. And but I've before the season I had Chiefs and the Eagles, and I'm sticking with that right now.
You guys ready for the next stat?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Listen,
go ahead.
you get 19 things right in a row. You miss that 20th, that's all you're going to hear about.
Yeah, that's
Don't even
right.
worry about it.
And like, and I tell people, look, as long as the Chiefs make it to Super Bowl is going to take care of itself. You just get to the game, and you let the chips fall where they may. I just enjoy free trips to the Super Bowl, so keep going.
I
Go ahead,
covered
Mike.
one and was like, I'm good. I don't ever have to do another one.
You like, yeah, well.
That was nuts.
Look, growing up, I always wanted to cover it, and trust me, the years with Alex Smith and when Romeo Crennel was the head coach, a lot of people forget that was some low times. I was covering the Chiefs on the field as a photographer at the time, and as a writer, where Javon Belcher, offed himself and his, and his family, and then the Chiefs had to play the next game against the undefeated Green Bay Packers and knocked them off. That was like the lowest of the lowest times.
Wow, I forgot
covering
about
in
that.
Kansas
I
City.
definitely
And so to get from that point to where literally year in and year out that the worst that you'll be is the AFC Championship game in overtime.
Yeah.
Man, I'll take that every year.
All right, second stat. Do you
Yeah.
guys think the Browns have found a pass rusher opposite of Myles Garrett that you feel confident in? Yes or no, real quick? before I
Definitely
give you
not.
this stat?
No.
No.
Okay, so no's across the board. Well, according to PFF, which sometimes hits, sometimes misses, Isaiah McGuire last week against Pittsburgh had an incredible game. He had a 93.7 grade against Pittsburgh. That was the highest defensive grade in the entire NFL last week. He played 32 snaps. This season, McGuire has 3 games where he's graded above a 90 by PFF. At the Raiders, home versus Cincinnati, then at Pittsburgh. But it's kind of ironic because the 2 games before Pittsburgh last week, he had a 43.3 grade 2 weeks before and then a 48.8 grade the week before. So inconsistent. I don't know. But Isaiah McGuire was the highest graded defensive player in the NFL.
That's a young
in
guy.
Week 13.
That's a young guy trying to figure it out.
I don't even. It didn't even feel like he did anything last week.
No,
What was his production?
Next question.
Go ahead.
No, it doesn't match the PFF grade.
Okay, all right. It's the way it goes sometimes, right? Yeah, they still need another pass rusher. They've been looking for one for like 10 years.
That's true. They haven't found it.
Isaiah McGuire had three tackles, 1 solo,
Okay. He's balling though.
and a QB hit.
Okay.
Now, in fairness,
That- he's
leave it.
fine.
Miles has had games where the numbers aren't great,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we've sat up here and defended them.
But he got
the
six-
numbers don't
I
tell
don't-
everything.
but I
Yeah,
don't-
but Myles
think
Garrett's
Mi-
getting double and triple teams.
Yeah, I
Isaiah
don't-
McGuire is not.
My only point is,
Yeah. Production doesn't mean everything.
yeah,
right?
you could be a
got
half
that.
beat off a sack.
Yeah. Sometimes he got rid of the ball.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch Isaiah McGuire hardly at all.
Yeah, I didn't
at that
see-
Who's
game
paying
on
attention
Sunday.
to him?
Yeah.
But
so.
hey, I hope he continues in his future endeavors. Maybe he can get
Next
the
one
touch.
is about Myles Garrett, by the way. So the Browns defense has not lived up to expectations, and at least on paper,
That's an
Myles.
understatement.
At least on paper, Myles feels like he's having a good season, but maybe not as good of a season as he had in the past. But some of the advanced numbers actually tell a different story. He has a 23.6 pass rush win rate this year, which is the #1 pass rush win rate in the NFL, despite facing the most double teams of any edge rusher, according to ESPN's Next Gen Stats. He's second in the NFL with sacks. He's 4th in the NFL in total pressures with 58, and his 3 forced fumbles are tied for 6th in the NFL. So even in those games where, to what you guys just said, the numbers don't necessarily back up in the stat sheet,
Yeah.
the production from is Myles doing what he's being asked to do standpoint is still there as high as just about anyone in the entire league.
Do you think he can win Defensive Player of the Year?
No.
I don't either.
Not
But
this year.
because last year it felt like
What?
It was a lifetime.
It's the
achievement
same reason
award.
Burrow can't win MVP because you can't be on a losing team.
And that's what I was going to say. That's what we said about Max Crosby last year.
Right.
Was how can he win Defensive Player of the Year when his
Right.
team's trash?
Yeah, he not
So
looking
it
at-
still applies. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's having a great. He's having a fine year.
He's been very good,
But I don't
but
think
he's
he-
not going to win.
I don't know.
TJ Watt's probably going to win.
Yeah, he might.
unless he gets 20 sacks. Like if he,
Yeah, but he's not going to get 20
I mean,
sacks.
that's
He'd need 9.
He
in the
need
final
9 in 4 games. Like
I mean,
he'd have to do
you talking about
something.
Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
Did you forget who the left tackle is? Yeah. I mean, anything is possible. I mean, he had three against somebody a few weeks ago.
He did.
And
Against the Steelers.
Patrick's been sacked 13 times in the last 3 weeks.
So
I'm not
So
underestimating.
if you like
what
that
could happen
Defensive
this
Player of the
weekend.
Year bet, you should bet it nowadays, is what
Yeah.
Darren's saying.
Yeah. I just think you're not going to have a defensive MVP.
Who else is up for it? Like
T.J. Watt's the prohibited favorite on FanDuel right now.
Yeah.
and they like their record is crazy. Yeah,
Would it be his third or his fourth award if he got that?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I think
I
3.
think he's second.
I thought he's had 2. No.
Thought he only had
Well,
one.
he's got at least 2.
Maybe you're mixing the Watts up.
By the way, this is the current FanDuel odds for Defensive Player of the Year. T.J. Watt's minus 190. Pat Surtain is second at plus 650.
Wow.
Xavier McKinney's third at
that's
plus
T.J. Watts.
1900. Miles is sixth at plus 2500.
So now are we gonna say if he does win, is this the best tandem of brothers ever?
In
On the
sports,
defensive side of football?
No, just in sports.
They'd have 5
I got
Defensive
to
Player
go
of the
with
Year
Shannon
awards
Sharp and
between
Sterling
them.
Sharp. I know
In
Sterling
sport-
Sharp's about to get in.
I mean, there's not that many.
I mean, the Mannings come to
The
thought.
Mannings.
Okay,
no,
yeah,
I'll
man.
take the Mannings.
What about the balls? The Ball brothers.
Yeah, hey, Jello. No. I mean, think about it. T.J. Watt, because it's hard to argue. I mean,
they're both gonna
T.J.
be Hall of
Watt
Famers.
and J.J. Watt was the best defensive player at some point in time in the league together. Like Eli Manning was never the best quarterback. He was never.
But he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He's gonna be Hall of-
I
but-
wouldn't vote for him personally, but he's going to get in.
But these guys are going to be Hall of Famers. These guys
That's
are
true.
first ballot Hall of Famers
Yeah.
too. I think they might
think
be.
Eli's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He
Again, I would not
shouldn't
personally
be.
vote
He
for him.
shouldn't be, but he will be.
But he will be.
So
All right, we got 2 more stats because I want to make sure we get our last
Yeah.
thing in with Darren here. We mentioned the Chiefs and their propensity to play close games. You know they're 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games. However, they're 6-1 straight up and actually winning those games. And Adam Schefter tweeted this out, but no team has ever gone on to win the Super Bowl in the same season. They lost 6 or more straight games against the spread.
That's an irrelevant stat.
So
I wonder how many good teams have actually done that.
I don't have an answer. It just is
That's,
worth
I think
pointing
it's
out.
just
The
coincidental.
Browns
Yeah,
are
that's-
plus 4.5
it's totally
this week.
irrelevant.
So, and the last one,
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy. We've had the discussion. Wide receiver 1. Is he a true one? Is he not a true one? How do you gauge what he's done with Jameis versus how he gauged what he did with Watson? Bull, I know you hate when we extrapolate stats over a 17-game pace.
Because great players can be great for a whole season.
I agree.
Extrapolating it doesn't account for, like when a guy's great for a whole season, he has the wear and tear of a whole season and all that. That's
Yeah,
what
but-
Jameis doesn't have. That's what Jeudy doesn't have.
Right, but I think in this instance, it's fair to at least hear him out
Okay,
because
I hear you.
because the different quarterback play, and obviously the quarterback play has gone up
Yes,
exponentially.
Sure.
So, Bull, guess what I did?
You extrapolate.
I extrapolated his 6-game average over the 17-game season. If Jameis was his quarterback for all 17 games.
Oh, my God.
Jerry Jeudy
Yeah.
would be on a pace for 108 receptions, 1,921 yards.
An all-time year.
9 touchdowns.
Yes.
72% of his 948 yards have come with Jameis at quarterback this season, despite only playing 6 games with Jameis. His over-under yardage versus Kansas City on FanDuel was 74.5. He's averaging 143 with Jameis. Just want to throw that out
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
So,
he's been.
I mean, even 1,500 would be an insane year.
I mean, the best year in Browns history would beat Josh Gordon.
Whew.
But he's got to do it consistently for a whole year before you put him in that one category, in the elite ones.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you look, man.
All the other elite ones have been great since they came in the league.
I mean, but if I'm Jerry Jeudy, I'm like, well, I've had trash quarterback play for 90% of my career.
Okay, but like Garrett Wilson's been excellent since he came in the league. He's had trash quarterback play.
I mean, he's like, has it been?
He's not putting up,
I mean,
but-
has it been worse than?
I mean, Jeudy had Russ. Russ wasn't trash.
No.
I mean,
He wasn't
had Drew-
trash
He
in
had
Denver.
Drew Lock.
Garrett Wilson's had
Now, hold on.
best with Aaron Rodgers.
Now everybody said
Yeah.
that we are not going to act like people like Russell Wilson 6 months ago.
He wasn't trash in
wasn't
Denver. That's
Drew
my
Lock.
only point.
he threw 26 touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
I get that, but
we would kill for 26 touchdowns.
but
to 7
nobody
interceptions.
Who
was
was Garrett
saying that.
before this year? Who was Garrett Wilson catching passes from the last 2 years?
From Zach Wilson.
he's good. But look,
That guy's trash.
you told me,
Yeah.
Jameis, you told me Deshaun Watson was the worst quarterback in the league, though.
He is.
Well, who's throwing him the ball?
Well, but that was only 6
And his
games.
numbers were not good.
So you say you look. So if you say my quarterbacks
Yeah.
has been Drew Lock,
He's played with crappy quarterbacks. I
Russell
agree.
Wilson in
That
Denver,
factors in.
and Deshaun Watson, he's gonna say, well, look, my numbers is crazy right now with just Jameis Winston. I'm him.
I agree.
Him
but
and
he's got
Amos.
to do it for more than 1 year because there have been other. Let's look at the other great receivers. Tyreek Hill's only played with very good quarterbacks for the most part.
Jamar Chase only
Jamar
good
Chase,
quarterback.
Jefferson for the most part. Well, last year Cousins got hurt and he still played great without him. Who else is on the top of the heap?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's had
With Goff.
good quarterback.
Great quarterbacks. I'm looking for these.
Hey, Jerry Jeudy. If Jerry Jeudy finishes strong and then does it again, like let's say he has a 1,300, 1,400 yard year next year,
Then he's in the class.
then he's in the group.
But
Then he
who's
joins
throwing the
team.
football? Will it be Jameis or who's going to throw in the football?
That's the big question.
To be determined.
Yeah.
If I'm Jerry Jeudy, I'm stumping and jumping up and down. No. Give that man that money.
I mean, C.D. Lamb's still playing well this year. He's
Cooper
having
Rush.
a great season with terrible quarterback.
But he's had a good quarter. Generally
He
speaking,
has had before this year.
Yeah,
yes.
generally speaking, Jerry
Yes,
Jeudy's
Garrett
gonna
Wilson is the guy. But to be fair, Garrett Wilson also hasn't
play what I
compared to
hear.
you, he hasn't played as good as these other guys we're mentioning.
See, yeah.
With Bears.
All right, real quick,
Jerry
we got one
Jeudy
last thing we got to
checks
get
will be in the
to.
mail.
If you want to check out the post-game show, it's Instant Reaction. We started with 2-minute warning. It's G, myself, Earl the Pearl. We give you live reaction and instant analysis. After the game, we will be live Sunday around 4 o'clock when the 2-minute warning hits. And then Bull does his podcast a little later, about 4:30, 4:45, give or take. So you could listen to us, then go over and listen to our guy Bull on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to do true or false real quick, so pass out the boards. While you're passing out the boards, one-word answer. Who is a better homecoming game this weekend for Kansas City? Is it Kelce or Hunt?
Oh, definitely.
I
Kelce.
can't. My thing went out. I didn't hear him.
Kelce or Hunt, better
Better
homecoming
homecoming
game. Thank you.
Kelsey.
I'm going Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt gets in the end zone twice. And he does the push-ups too.
Well,
Beautiful.
I got Isaiah Pacheco on one of my playoff fantasy teams, so I'm hoping Kareem Hunt doesn't get any touchdowns and Pacheco gets them instead.
So we got a split answer. We are going true or false today on, for Darren, one Travis Kelce. We've already done the Kareem Hunt true or false today. It's true or false on the Cleveland native Travis
Maybe we've already done
Kelce.
Kareem Hunt.
2 years ago, we did true or false on Kareem
Oh, I
Hunt.
think
That was
we
the one
did.
that Jay went undefeated on and still hasn't shut up about. So
Oh, yeah, it's true.
yeah, so we had to go with a Cleveland native, but
All right.
a Chiefs player for true
Here
or
we
false.
go.
Darren, you know how this game works. It's very simple. I give you a statement.
Yeah.
You say true or false. Steve, hit the music, and let's get the first one up here. We're going to fly through
We
this
haven't played true or false
so we
in
can
a while.
get some super chats in. I know because Tyvis and Jay are never on the same day anymore, so they always miss. All right, first up, Travis Kelce never played tight end before he got to the University of Cincinnati. True or false? Bull says
Everybody got their answers?
everyone's ready. Bull says true. Is that 4 truths across the board?
It
4
is.
truths across the board. 4 right answers to start it off.
who's
Travis
quarterback?
Kelce had never played tight end. Excuse me, I was answering Earl. All right, number 2. Steve, you ready for the next one? What are you doing here, Steve? Hold on, Steve's. Number 2, in his senior season at Cleveland Heights High School, Kelce ran for more touchdowns than he threw. True or false?
This is counterintuitive.
Man, I know I might be doing this shit, but I'm like, it's like,
All trues except for G's got a
3
false.
trues and a false.
G says false. G! You nailed it.
Ah.
As a senior at Cleveland Heights, he ran for 10 touchdowns, threw for 21. A 2-to-1 pass to
I
1
should
touchdown.
y'all should have listened to me. I told you it's
Should've.
counterintuitive.
G's in the lead. G is now in the lead. All right, next up. Travis Kelce ran a faster 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine than Tyvis Powell. True or false?
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say, just because, man.
That's right.
I hope Tyvis is watching.
Come on, man.
Bull says true. Jason says true. Darren says true. G. Bush says false. And G. Bush has run away with this. Ran away with the 40-yard dash
I
with
knew it
Kelce.
was
Tyvis
true.
ran
Man, I
a
should have
4.
known that.
Tyvis ran a 4.46. Kelce ran a 4.61.
I figured it was probably false, but I
Why
just
would
wanted to
you
say
think
true
that a
anyway.
defensive back? Now, Tyvis ain't defensive back size now. He's
Yeah.
more of an outside linebacker.
Yeah.
But Tyvis played in the secondary.
I
Man.
wish
Come
it-
on,
I
man.
happily be
I thought
wrong
it
on
was
that.
like-
I just wanted to write
I did too.
I just wanted to write
just
true.
wanted to dig. Yeah, you
I
4'7"
knew it was
guy.
false.
You're a 4'7" guy. You're more quick than fast, Tyvis.
All right, next up, Travis Kelce holds the NFL records for most overall seasons with 1,000 receiving yards by a tight end and the most consecutive receiving yards of 1,000 receiving yards. It's either all true or all false.
Kelce holds NFL records. Well, I'll just follow Darren's lead on that.
Oh,
he seemed
man, I
pretty.
think-
We both Shannon Sharp's name.
He seemed pretty
Bull
confident.
says false. Three
That
truths
feels-
across the board. Bull, if you get this, you're back in it.
But I'm not.
Unfortunately, you suck. You are wrong again. This is true. G. Bush gets it again. G. Bush keeps a 2-point lead over Darren and Jason. Bull is in dead last place with 2 to go. All right,
We usually do 8. What happened?
time and Darren has a headline before YouTube, so we got 6 today.
All right.
Next up, Travis is the middle child of the 3 Kelce siblings, with his older brother being Jason and Brianna as his younger sister. True or false?
Have they ever had her on their podcast? I feel like I've never seen her.
Travis,
I'm gonna
don't
go with-
kill me. 'Cause I don't even know.
Bull says true.
I'm gonna go with that.
G says true. 4 trues. Y'all, I made up Brianna. She does not exist.
Yeah, I didn't think they had
Yeah,
a
I'm
sister.
sitting here like, yo.
I didn't think
I
they
was
had
like,
a sister.
no wonder I've never seen her.
I was like, maybe she don't like being on camera like that.
Yeah.
I
Making up siblings, Mike?
Hey, man, let's do this.
That is.
you know the 2. I got you. I mean,
That is
we haven't played in a
blasphemous.
while. Some of these old tricks
Yeah.
are back to fruition. All right, last one. Even though G's up by 2, right?
Oh yeah,
Which means G's clinched this. G, so
Yeah.
if you just want to take a victory lap, you can take a victory lap.
He has a
But
chance to
last,
sweep, right? Oh, no, he got that. He thought Brianna was
we
real,
got one
too.
wrong.
I did too. man.
Last one. Travis Kelce has made more money in his NFL career than his brother Jason. These are career earnings just in NFL contracts, not endorsements, not anything else, just NFL contracts. Has Travis out-earned Jason?
Should be true, but I don't know.
It should be.
It should be, but it seems too obvious, so
Yeah.
I'm going false.
Ah,
Plus,
yeah.
Jason played longer.
Jason
Yeah.
did play longer.
False for Bull, false for Jason, true for Darren, and
False for
false
G.
for G. Darren, I'm glad you got this because it is true. In his career,
Man.
Travis
As a tight
Kelce
end
has
versus a center,
earned
he better make more money.
$93.9 million, Jason $88.8. So very close.
It was close.
Very close.
Only because Jason has played longer, right?
Guess
By a
let me
couple
hold
years.
something.
Jason played longer, correct.
I'm
So
surprised
G-
it is even that close.
I won
though.
that.
G, congratulations. You are
Man.
the first, because we haven't done true and false all football season. You are the
Yeah.
first and only true and false champion of the
Nice
2024
Job. Nice job.
Browns season.
Shout out to the Riddler for getting me this suit jacket. I like that, man. Shout out to them, man.
We're going to do Darren's headlines and wrap up
Yes.
the show with Super Chats. We have our headlines in the WKYC show, but Darren is going to come back here and join us in the booth for the WKYC show. So, Darren, you sent us one in. Do you want to give us your headline for the Browns-Chiefs game?
Well,
on
it is
Sunday?
going to be a homecoming of sorts for Kelce along with Kareem Hunt, and of course, I made this headline with Jason in mind with the 3 wheels.
There it is.
But I said the hunt is on. Kareem's 2 touchdowns powered the Chiefs to a 28-21 win over the Browns. The Chiefs, they have a hard time covering, but more so they just have a hard time winning by more than a touchdown. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game because the Chiefs need to be pushed offensively on their offense to get points on the board. And this is a game that, with it being a homecoming, if they're anywhere within 5 yards of the goal line, I see Kareem getting a chance to punch the ball in. If it's anywhere outside, and even one time, I think I could see them try to do a trick play to get Kelce the touchdown to break Tony Gonzalez's record, Chiefs record.
How many games did the Browns score 3 touchdowns? It's not very many
Yeah.
this year.
2 maybe?
This season?
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
I mean, look, I'm
Yeah.
expecting a James Brown that showed up against the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
And
I haven't looked at the forecast for Sunday. Cold, I assume.
I think it's supposed to be raining.
No, it's not supposed to be too bad Sunday.
Oh,
No,
really?
I think it's supposed to rain, but the Chiefs playing the same weather as Cleveland, so
Yeah.
that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I just think that they just have a better chance of doing it.
Sunday, 70% chance of rain between 35 and
Nasty.
42.
That's not bad.
That's miserable.
That's nasty.
Well, at least it's not going to be below freezing.
I mean, 35.
How many
with
games have
drizzle.
the Browns scored 3 or more touchdowns? I want to say 2 with Jameis,
The
right?
Browns or the Chiefs?
No, the
Browns.
Browns.
The Browns. Okay, let's go. They scored 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys in week 1.
No, they never scored 3 with Deshaun, so just look at Jameis.
Just three touchdowns or 2?
3 or more.
3 or more.
Denver.
Baltimore,
Yeah.
Denver, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Not the first Pittsburgh game?
No, that was a very.
They had 24-19. You're right, they did.
Yeah, so 3 times. 3 of Jameis has had what, 6 starts or
6.
7?
6.
So half of Jameis' starts, they've scored 3 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
There's all 3 rushing touchdowns against Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So, all right, we got super chats to wrap up the YouTube version of today's show.
Yeah.
First one comes from G. Bush's bad neck. Not his bad knee, not his bad back. This is
Yes,
the G. Bush
bad
bad
neck.
neck account. Bull, don't forget you said the Giants will have more than 4 wins. Love you guys.
I didn't say the Giants
you
were going
guys
to
are
be
the
good,
best.
though.
But you said they have more than 4
that
wins.
goes against your
apparently.
ledger.
All right. I mean, so you have more than 4 wins?
Yeah, bad job out of you.
That's see what I'm talking
See what I'm talking about? Oh, they be there. They
Hey,
be marketing.
if you're going to rip somebody for when the Browns lost to the Giants, Jay said the Giants are like a good team or something positive about them. Trust me, I'll take my L's when I deserve them.
Now,
but
here's the thing. Like,
I didn't think the Giants were going to be any
there
good.
can't be a bigger one than remember. I had them for 4,500.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you get like? There's nothing
I don't
worse
even
than
know if he threw for 450 this year.
Well, gee, do you remember in all the lead up to the season, we kept talking about how good the AFC North was, and Bull's like, I could see this division finishing in any order.
Yeah.
Except Pittsburgh can't finish on top.
right.
I was
And
wrong.
we look
That I was wrong
crazy.
about.
We said that. I thought it'd be Cleveland and Baltimore, Cincinnati and Baltimore 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh 3 and 4. Whoops.
Yeah, big time whoop.
Yeah.
So who would have thought? And the Bengals is 5 and something, 4 and something.
5 and 8.
That's
All right, we got 3 more, so we got 2 minutes. Charles T says, G's rocking that 1980 Jimmy Jam Morris Day drummer fit. Jason looks like the manager at a Bass Pro Shop that knows everything about sleeping bags. Bull looks
awesome.
slimmer in his usual chair. Darren looks like the dare cop who got caught hitting on everyone's mom while dating the assistant principal.
If only they knew what we talked about before we got on here.
That's good.
Ray Smith says G looks like Dollar Bill in the Players Club. Nothing but love, best show in the land. Kool-Aid Mafia always in the building. And Mick McGee says St. Louis barbecue's better than KC.
Whoa.
I disagree.
Darren, you going to put up with that?
Hey man, what's understood don't have to be
Yeah, that's
explained.
fair.
I'm good.
He was not moved at all. He was like, I am not.
But I do
moved.
want to say for winning the show,
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for the invite.
Yeah,
Pleasure
thank
being
you for
there.
coming.
Look
It was
forward to
fun.
seeing you Sunday.
I'll be
of course
there.
at the game and meeting Tyvis. I get a chance to meet him.
Yeah.
But I also want to give a shout out to the Off the Clock crew on Twitter. I know y'all be having going battles or whatever, but
Yeah.
Xavier P, Jay, all them want to say thank you for welcoming me into Cleveland and stuff like that. So I really
Xavier P's a
appreciate the
good man.
opportunity.
I've never actually met him in person, but
Muni lot. You will be
Xavier
baptized
P's-
by the
Xavier P's
Muni
the
lot.
homie.
Well,
Coming up.
they'll be baptized with me because I'm bringing the seasoning and the sauce.
there you go.
You guys
All right,
going
so
to
you are going to the
Sunday?
Muni lot? You going to the Muni lot?
I ain't going
I'm
nowhere.
gonna get there. I'm gonna get to stay up about 9 o'clock. Get set up in the press
Oh, my
box.
God.
Well, I don't like traffic, so I'm gonna get there
Yeah.
early, and then there's people who want to meet me, so I'm gonna go down and meet
Nice.
with the, I'm a man
That'll
of the
be
people.
In the
fun.
rain?
I'm a man of the people.
He is a man of the people, unlike you.
And he'll be
Jason.
wearing a
You're
suit,
not
I
a
too.
man of the people.
I am not. I'll be
We'll see you on WKYC Channel 3.
under the umbrella running.